instances of paranormal phenomena have been reported in this desolate place. Events that may reflect the area's tragic past. Whatever they are, whatever you call them, ghosts, spirits, shades, specters, apparitions, there is not a corner of the world they do not inhabit.
I'm coming through.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Ninjas Podcast. We talk all things paranormal. I'm Ken James, and this is Special Agent Jason McKittrick.
Hey, folks, from the bunker.
And if we can haunt, howl, or dwell in the dark, we want to talk about it. And if it can fly in a saucer shape and crash in the desert, we want to talk about it too.
Or a cube inside of a sphere.
Yeah, a translucent sphere.
Yeah.
We want to talk about it. And tonight we're continuing our investigation of the Roswell Incident.
Yes, we are.
And,
well,
yeah, I mean, if...
After last week, I've been scared the entire week. I'm scared.
I haven't been changing my clothes.
I didn't leave this chair.
Yeah, we've been
I had the same clothes on.
We've been here.
Just holding each other because we're so scared.
For a week. We've been just peeing where we're sitting.
Yep.
It's been weird.
Because our location may have been compromised.
Yeah, we didn't even have... We were like, dude, be damned a jump scare or a haunted headline.
Well, I disconnected from the internet.
Yeah.
I don't want to be found.
We're not on the internet right now.
I don't even know if you know, we've descended into nuclear war or something. Like we've just, you know.
We've been here. We haven't eaten.
No.
I am going to, when I upload these, I'm going to send these on VHS to YouTube.
Right. Well, every day we've been receiving a manila envelope at the back door.
With pictures of us holding each other and weeping.
Yes, but also with classified documents that have been sort of cleared. We can't give away our sources, but we've been cleared to disperse and disseminate the knowledge to our listeners.
You guys are lucky.
You guys are real lucky.
Real lucky. I'm here with Special Agent McKittrick.
I have no affiliation. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Jason, my buddy.
Right.
Well, if you tuned in last week, things were it was fact-filled.
It was fact-filled with a lot of facts of some army people being a bunch of dicks.
They're such dicks. They're such dicks.
It was General Dick and General
Cock.
Yeah.
And then there's,
Lieutenant
Brigadier General Fuck.
Yeah. Yep.
Daniel Fuck, I think his name was.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't like any of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, once again, before we get into this next stage of this episode, I gotta just say, who in their right mind, how do they think that everyone's just gonna believe this stuff? Like the changing, like how do they just go like, here's the narrative, we're switching it to this, and they just expect everyone to go, yeah.
Because I think most people just completely discount it just out of hand right away. They're like, oh, aliens? Bullshit. Yeah, I'm not into that.
Yeah, good government bullshit.
That too.
Like how, like there's so much in this that I have to.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
But, and then getting mad. And then getting mad when questioned. How do you get mad when questioned about your bullshit?
Because they're above reproach. Don't ask me any fucking questions.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
I said.
Yeah.
You know who said? Me.
Yeah.
I'm the dad at the dinner table here. That's what they did. They dadded us at the dinner table.
Right.
The United States military and government.
Right. And the guys that found the ship were the mom that they just...
Yeah. Yeah. And we're all supposed to sit here and cry into our mashed potatoes as we finish our meal.
Right.
That's what they've been doing to us with the government, with the Roswell incident this whole time.
Yeah.
They're an abusive...
the U.S. Uncle Sam is an abusive dad piece of shit. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I guess the wife is Mother Nature.
Statue of Liberty?
Statue of Liberty, I like it better.
Yeah.
And then we're all little immigrants.
Yeah.
Eating.
Yeah.
We're all like Tiny Tim immigrants. We're the newsies.
Where's this going?
I don't know.
Okay.
Welcome back to Another Dangerous Podcast, guy.
Hey. So I figured we'd spend, because this was a cultural milestone, touchstone. This facet of the case, the alien autopsy. And I figured we'd have to give a decent amount of time to this because when this came out, I was freaked out.
Yeah.
I think everybody was.
Yeah.
And it was lended an air of credibility by having it be hosted by Jonathan, Star Trek The Next Generation Frakes. Remember?
I just love that gave him the credibility.
Well, he spent an inordinate amount of time on a starship.
Yeah, in
so if you're going
space.
to ask about aliens,
The Final Frontier.
you're going to go to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they wanted to get Picard, but he was like, I'm gearing up for X-Men. I got shit to do.
He's like, shut up.
They're like, he's not doing anything. Yeah. And then after this, he did that other show. Was it Beyond Belief or something? What was the show?
Oh, dude, yeah. Fact or Fiction.
Fact or Fiction.
Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that.
Yeah.
You'd be wrong. That clip.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
I like how it's just a cold open. He's like, did you ever ride your bike down the street and smash your fucking face in on the concrete? It's like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he's like,
Yep.
I haven't.
Yep.
That's because you're an idiot. That's why you did.
Do you know where your wallet is right now? It's like, what?
Yeah. And he's like,
I do.
yeah, this is mine.
Yeah, and he was in that room full. It was like the treasure room from National Treasure. That's the room he was in. It's like, how did you get in there?
Yeah, and then they use that for like Mysteries at the Museum, like years later.
But Don Wildman went
Great
hard.
show. Great show.
Actually, his first show before that was even better.
Was that History of Mysteries?
No, Cities of the Underworld.
Okay, I watched that on Netflix. It used to be on Netflix. Yeah.
Awesome show.
Oh yeah.
I wish they would have continued with that.
I wish most TV was like that. That kind of stuff.
Here's my pitch to our government/reptilian overlords. Please make a streaming service that is nothing but discontinued 90s and early 2000s sci-fi shows that people like us want to watch.
Isn't there one that's no.
No, that
Quora
one
or whatever. We Are GA or whatever. There's
I don't know.
a couple weird ones out there that I'm like, I'm not
They're
paying
awful.
for that. Yeah, I'm not paying for
They're
that
awful.
shit.
No, because most of them are like, become a Reiki master by mail. It's like, no, I'm good.
Energy healing.
Energy. Do I want to piss off Reiki people? Yeah, I do.
Sure.
If your Instagram profile contains the words Reiki master, instant block. I'm just telling you.
But before we get even more into the UFOs, I came up with a pitch, and I want to get this out there. Just
you
in
have a
case.
pitch now, too.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was the one I was telling you. I just, cause for our fans, listeners. Oh, and also we received.
Yeah, I was going to get to it.
Okay, yeah, but before that, I have an idea for a fucking killer ghost show, right? A reality ghost show, and you could do UFOs too. You could do
Okay.
the UFO thing too. Before someone steals it, I just want to get it on here that I came up with this idea. 4 teams go to investigate a location. Could be Roswell, could be a haunted location. You have the scientists that their field of expertise is specifically whatever they're investigating, whether it be UFOs, hauntings, all this
so
stuff.
this is like classic 90s kind of like TV show.
Yes.
You have four teams that
Yes.
come in to investigate a place,
Yes.
a classic haunted place.
Yes.
And you divide these teams by...
So one's a group of scientists. Okay, so there's like 4 of them. Mm-hmm. The next group are paranormal investigators.
Yeah. The rigs and everything.
Yeah, everything.
Right.
The third group are just psychics, clairvoyants, psychics, mediums.
Can they use dowsing rods?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They're going to use
Crystal
all of it.
pendulums?
They're going to use everything that they would use.
Automatic writing?
Yes, all of it. And then the fourth group.
Spirit boards?
Yes. The little tin thing on the table where you write and it shakes.
Right.
And then the last team are just regular people.
Right.
They're like,
Yeah.
I
Like
just wanna
literally
be-
off the street.
Yeah.
They should just literally like, hey, you want to do this thing?
Yeah, do you want to be on a game show? And
And
they're
the girl's like,
sure.
I tried this before and it didn't work
Yeah,
out. It's not like that. It's not like that at all.
They're like, no, there's no bus.
Yeah, there's no bus. No bus.
But so
More
yeah,
money, too.
Yeah, right. So, and no embarrassment.
Right.
But
well, probably some
a little bit.
embarrassment.
But so what you do is round 1, they go and they all investigate on their own using their own techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's round 1. Mm-hmm. Round 2, we shake them up. That was dice. That wasn't.
Yeah, I got it.
We shake them up, split them all up. 4 teams, they're all mixed in.
Right.
All doing. They come up with, all right, here's how we're going to investigate. Draw our strength. Come up with the idea. And then round 3, I haven't come up with round 3 yet. But the point of it is whoever wins, like if the paranormal investigators get evidence that the scientists can't refute, or if the scientists debunk everything, or the mediums catch on camera some fact that they didn't have or knowledge.
Yeah.
And then the regular people just get paid. And they're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. Can one of the psychic investigators be Psyduck from Pokemon?
Yeah.
Okay. Like they
Absolutely.
could animate them in there, or someone in a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my pitch. I'll come up with a name. I'm still ironing out the details. I'll get in contact with Netflix or Hulu. They're
You're gonna get in contact. with them.
yeah, I'll reach out.
Okay.
Dude, they'll make anything over there anymore.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I go in like with fervor and like excitement, if I'm in there like,
Yeah.
wait till you hear this shit.
Yeah.
I think they'll buy it.
You got to go in there with. I know we talk about it a lot. You got to go there with Alex Jones energy. So they're just like,
Yeah.
oh. Okay.
I take my fucking shirt
Yeah.
off and I like, yeah,
Yeah.
scream and pound the desk.
Yeah. So we received a piece of mail from an actual Other Dangers fan.
I
A
love
piece
it.
of actual mail. When I got the envelope, I opened it like this because
Yeah.
I was afraid because
Yeah.
I've received weird mail from people before.
Sorry, Jack.
But listener Charlie
Charlie.
sent us in some stickers he made. Peter James Lives.
I love it. It's the greatest sticker I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. It's like
I might have to put that on my... I don't do bumper stickers.
yeah.
I might have to put that on my car.
I might have to put this on my children. Forehead.
Yeah. Go to school. You say that. Go to school.
Anyone ask you questions, say, do your own research. Just do the research.
Yeah.
Just do the research.
And then you go, check out Other Dangerous Podcasts.
Yeah.
They're the gatekeepers of Peter James.
Yeah, that'd be the only thing I'd add to this would be our logo, but this is awesome. So Charlie, this is great.
So
we
cool.
love it. One will permanently be affixed here next time you see the next episode, something here.
Yes.
But this is great.
We
So,
absolutely love it, Charlie. You're the man.
Yep. Thank you, sir. So I'm glad that wasn't anthrax.
Right.
Because there was a good chance it could have been.
Or you
Not
could-
because it's from you, Charlie, but because people have sent me weird things because of what I do for a living.
You open it up and just like Will Smith pops out and smacks you.
Yeah, but I didn't say his wife's name.
Yeah, right. But he doesn't know that.
That's true. He's just looking for any gig at this point.
Oh, yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
He's done. No one saw his new movie. No one cares anymore.
Well, I don't want to go into it.
Anyway. Yeah. So those were a couple of things.
Yeah.
Updates of what's going on around here.
Yeah.
Since we've been trapped in the bunker.
Yeah. So I want to go into just a little bit of this because the Alien Autopsy film, which was released in 1995, before I get into the facts and everything, do you remember what kind of like a hysteria was attached to this thing? Like, so much so that like after that, every Halloween, that's when the alien being autopsy were showing up on yard haunts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Toys of aliens being autopsy. It became a
Halloween
new thing.
Adventure would have the whole display thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, okay, take the Frankenstein table, take the body off of it, put an alien body on it, use the electrodes, same thing, make it a green color instead of a blue color, like put some slime on it, smoke effect, good to go. Strobing lights.
Batted stuff around a bit.
Yeah, that's how you start it.
Yeah.
Instead of like a lawnmower, it's... Yeah, exactly.
Don't autopsy me.
And I think this is very important because people so wanted like concrete proof from this that they were like, here it is, man, blown wide open.
got
I
it.
remember when this debuted, it was I want to say it was on Fox because it was this, and then the next week, I think it was like literally the next week. Do you remember the one where it was like the home video of the birthday party and like
That was actually a remake of another movie.
Yeah.
That they reshot like scene for scene.
but reshot it to look like it was just filmed on like a found footage kind of
Yeah,
thing.
because both the first one was found footage and the second one was just more money put into the found footage
Right.
thing. Yeah.
And I don't know what year that came out because they talk about Blair Witch Project being the first found footage.
I
which
think it
is
was
all-
94, 95.
Okay.
It's called the I forget. God damn, I actually sent you something about this like
Yes.
2 years ago.
You did. No,
Oh my
I know
God.
it because I see it pops up
Yeah.
every once in a while, and I watched the whole thing, and I was still scared of it. I'm like, I know this is fake, and this is still scary.
You know what? They were pushing it was real, and
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't because that main kid in it
Yeah.
was on this show on Nickelodeon that I watched, where they were like he was an alien and he had makeup over his head,
okay.
and I was like, oh, that's the fucking kid from the space show I watch.
So I had seen it completely out of context. All I knew it was like because when the TV was always on at my house, I'm sure it was always on at your house. It's just always on, and like
In every fucking room.
in every fucking room.
Yeah.
And
That's why we're so. That's what,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why my brain is in the 90s right now.
Yeah.
So you would get one of these like that music like a family. And I'm like, what the fuck is it? You know, you're playing with your fucking X-Men figures. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then they show the thing, and like, it's like, okay, at that point, maybe you don't have those full critical thinking skills. So you're like, okay, they're telling me it's a video, so I guess it's a real video. Yeah. And they show you the birthday party thing, and like, you see the aliens walking through the grass, and you see that whole part, and then like freaking the fuck out because it's not long, right? It's like a half hour, maybe.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's
but
not
then you
super
had
long.
this guy, Mr. Frakes, Mr. Join me on the deck, talk to the Klingons guy, in there like narrating in between, right? In the interstitials, right?
Yeah.
So, and at the end, I remember the part because I had to turn it off because I literally, like, you ever been so scared of something, and I'm sure you have, where like you see it and your brain starts to get fuzzy?
Yeah.
It was when the kid goes in the room and there's an alien in the room.
Okay, when the door... Yeah.
It was so fucking scary, like, my brain short-circuited. Like, it's never happened to me before. I mean, never happened to me before or since.
I remember that,
and I was like...
They were using, like, laser pointers.
Yeah.
Like, their thing. Yeah.
And they were doing, like, look, okay, and then, like, and it's behind the door. And I remember going, like, it fucked me up completely. And that's all I remember of the show. All right? So, just for context, I have problems.
We're going to find the name. Hold on. I got to find the name now. I have to.
Okay.
I have to.
Okay.
The McPherson tape.
The McPherson tape.
AKA, so yeah, it was called the McPherson tape, AKA Alien Abduction.
Yes.
And there was, they like I said, they re-shot it because there's two different versions of it. And they just wanted to make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
I remember the shotgun. Remember when they pulled the shotgun, the elders?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yes! Like, you know, and then no, then it didn't help.
Yep.
There's been some cool found footage alien movies though, or even snippets like the one in what's it called? The VHS Part 2, I think it is.
Yeah.
The family, where like the sleepover, the kids.
So that's good, but then they also, I don't like when they take, we're going way off track, but whatever, but I don't like when they take aliens and like they can't decide if they're intelligent beings or monsters.
Okay.
And you have to pick one. If they're intelligent and this super hyper intelligent race, we pose no threat to them or even a challenge. It's just, here's the fucking tractor beam, we got you. Now it's up to you to escape from our ship. Okay. It's not terrorizing and I'm in the thing. Here it comes.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Yeah, but it makes it for a good, you know, short.
No. Back to the alien autopsy film. Sure. Okay, that's where we're at because we gotta keep this in the lane of Roswell. If you want to have an aliens,
sure. Sorry, I we haven't
aliens Ferk my Bert. We can do that as an episode.
Bert Ferk and aliens.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
We could just do an episode called that.
Yeah.
Save that for the Patreon. Maybe if you're good. If you're good,
we'll turn this fucking
goddamn right
spaceship around.
Yep. All right, so The Alien Autopsy is a 17-minute black and white film supposedly depicting a secret medical examination or autopsy of an alien by the United States military. Duh. It was released in 1995 by London-based entrepreneur Ray Santilli. He presented it as an authentic autopsy on the body of an alien recovered from the 1947 crash of a flying disc near Roswell, New Mexico. The film footage was allegedly supplied to him by a retired military cameraman who wished to remain anonymous. Right?
Yeah.
Fast forward. In 2006, Santilli admitted the film was not authentic, but rather a staged reconstruction of footage he claimed to have viewed in 1992.
Just for sillies.
But which had deteriorated and become unstable by the time he made his film.
So he's like, yeah, let me just...
He claimed that a few frames from the original were embedded in his film, but he never specified which ones. The existence of an original film strip of the alleged autopsy has never been independently verified.
That would never get out. It would be under such tight scrutiny. That footage would never see the light of day.
Listen, I'm of the opinion that, like, first of all, I grew up with a dad who told me that the government was lying to us every day about everything. So
smart dad.
So, I am of the opinion that there's all this shit that they have about stuff like this.
Oh yeah,
and we'll never see it, whether it's this much or it's a library.
Yeah,
there's got to be some stuff, and if there is some stuff, whatever it may be, we ain't fucking seeing it
ever.
And they're like, why? Why can't we just share the information? Because then if there's an intergalactic race out there, that means that we ain't shit, the people who are in charge of us ain't shit, that they're going to be the real people, or the real power, or whatever you want to call it. So they let that shit out. Human society crumbles.
Yeah.
They say it won't, it will.
Yeah, you're like, money.
Yeah.
You're like,
taxes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to,
After saying that, you might want to put your glasses back on, because
shit.
Don't bring up taxes. You don't fuck with the government's money, bro.
Those imaginary numbers on a screen help them do whatever.
Yeah.
Where's inflation at right now? 200%? Does it matter?
Well, it's hurting me. I'll tell you that.
Oh, it's hurting everybody.
Yeah,
but
right?
but then in 6 months, when they're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Bring it back a little bit. It's a
Bring
game.
it back.
Eggs are so expensive right now. Anyway. $8 for a fucking dozen at the one store.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's get back to fun stuff like alien autopsies. So Fox Television, who were the kings of the 90s paranormal shows, the kings, undisputed.
The only ones were doing anything cool.
Yeah, even A Current Affair was the shit. Remember?
Yeah.
Dude, fucking Maury Povich's original jam.
CBS, NBC, they didn't do
Punk
shit.
bitches.
Punk bitches. Might as well have been Prism.
Yep. Ooh.
Fuck, you fucks.
Anyway, so Fox Television broadcast the footage, hosted by Jonathan Frakes, from the deck of the
We have
Enterprise.
lost. We have the show lost. I'm sorry.
Relax. Nobody disputes it. Everyone's like, yeah, true. In the United States on August 28th, 1995. Perfect, too. Right before school's going back.
Yeah.
You're like, man, summer's almost over. And they're like, hey, you want to see this fucking alien get cut up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, wait.
Do I ever?
Can I cut it up?
Yeah. Under the title Alien Autopsy, Fact or Fiction, the program caused a sensation, with Time magazine declaring that the film had sparked a debate with an intensity not lavished on any home movie since the Zapruder film, which is the famous film from the Kennedy assassination. Fox rebroadcast the program twice, each time to higher ratings, with the November 1995 broadcast winning its time slot again with 11.7 million viewers and a 14% share.
Was it the same exact documentary? They aired it again?
Yeah, 3 times.
It'd be so funny if they're like, you want to see it again? You know, at the beginning, they're
dude, it's like they were the original, like, dude, check out this clip.
Yeah.
Check out this clip.
Yeah.
Dude, send that to me.
Yeah.
Now it's back then.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you're, kids, if you're listening to us, I hope you're not, but kids, if you're listening to us, you gotta wait. Like, you better catch, you want to see your show, your ass better be in that seat.
There was a time before your controller had a guide button on it, too.
Oh, yeah. No idea what you're going into.
You had to find a pamphlet called a TV guide.
Yeah.
And go...
Yeah, and some parents were cheap as fuck, and you didn't have that either.
No, you had to do... Yeah, if you were in the grocery store,
yep.
You want to know something was coming on?
Yep.
While they're checking out, you're hitting that TV guide.
Yeah, the TV guide, the guy on the cover was like, you want to know?
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
They're going to cut our throats after this is over.
It's true. We're getting too close to the honey pot.
Too close to the truth. Although in the broadcast version, some parts of the autopsy were pixelated or edited out because of their supposed graphic nature, the earlier versions contained, Santilli claimed, the complete and unedited film, in addition to the previously unreleased footage of the wreckage, which was presented as the remains of the alien craft purported to have crashed in Roswell. So we didn't get to see that either?
No.
God.
Just once, I want to see... just an actual photo of like what it looks like, because we have so many the Tic Tac film, like I think those, by the way, are different kinds of crafts.
That's our stuff. I think that's our stuff.
Okay.
I think they reverse engineered shit that they found from this crash. I think this was like our only contact with them, and I think we reverse engineered a whole bunch of shit from this.
Dude, but what about those ones that can travel in water, our atmosphere, then into space?
Ours.
All that's ours.
I think so.
I don't know, bro.
Hey, man, they say at any given time, you see the technology that we have, the military is 20 years ahead.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a guy opening a beer in a basement. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think you're great.
Thanks, buddy.
But no, like, so what I was saying was, just give me like, okay, this is this is that, and like this is what their bodies look like, because this more of this fucking brain shit that I have of like,
I like the part where they peel his eyeball thing off.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I was like, how's that work? It's like, why would that peel off? Wouldn't his eyeball just be black?
Dude, I don't know. I just saw a clip on Instagram of just like.
And why did it have a thong on? Oh wait, that wasn't real.
No, that was a different one.
Right.
That was Lil Mayo. But no,
shout out Little Mayo.
Yeah.
Pop a pic right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude fucks. But I just saw. It popped up on my Instagram and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It was like a cartel member wearing someone else's face.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I was like,
Yep.
I was like, why the eyes look weird? Then I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
They cut them.
Instagram's becoming the Wild West.
Oh
lately.
yeah, Instagram's nuts anymore.
I saw a couple of these accounts. I don't know. Whatever. This is all accounts, folks.
Yeah.
We're on topic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
everything that was like, oh yeah, this isn't on anything anymore. Now it's like on there. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
it might get deleted
murder
within
and-
like.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, suggested for you, live hunting videos. I was like, what the fuck? And then it's just somebody just blows like a fucking deer's head off.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I was scrolling. It was like I didn't read the caption. It was just like a chipmunk and its head blown off.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I was like, whoa,
Yep.
whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Why?
I'm here for the thirst traps.
Yeah, I'm not here to see either Alvin, Simon, or Theodore get his, just
Yeah.
dessert. That was Alvin. He was the last holdout. Fucking David had
Yeah.
it. He was like, I'm going to get this little motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he was like coming out. It was like he thought David was dead. It's 10 years down the road. He's coming out to get his paper. David's like,
Yeah.
bang. And then just
Yeah, he did this. He was like, want a plane that loops the loop. And he
Yep.
popped out, me, I want a hoop. Bang.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotcha, you fuck.
Yep, and then he comes out, yeah, we've been good, but we've been
Yep.
bad. But he'll clean his gun.
He's
but
wearing-
Santa, don't be late.
Yeah, he's wearing Theodore's a hat.
Yeah. Wearing Theodore,
Simon.
and his socks.
This.
One is one sock, one each. Yep. Oh, this got weird.
Yeah.
So,
Hey man, I'm blaming it on a mix of Dayquil and Miller High.
yeah, and somehow I imagine that the alien was wearing a thong. So the Fox program features numerous well-known figures, both in front of and behind the camera. Interviews with experts on the authenticity of the film include Oscar-winning special effects makeup artist Stan Winston, the man.
The man. Follow him on Instagram too.
He's dead.
Well, his Stan Winston school. The Stan Winston school.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And if you don't know who he is,
Yeah.
don't at me.
Do your own.
Don't send me a letter
research.
either. It'll be a bad one.
Yeah.
This was a good one. Cinematographer Alan Davao.
Sounds right to me.
Never heard of him. And noted forensic pathologist Cyril Vecht, who
Every
considered
time I
the
hear-
autopsy procedures in the film to be authentic, but stopped short of declaring the being to be a real alien.
Anytime I hear pathologist, I just think of Dr. Biden. Baden.
Right.
Baden. Not Biden. Baden.
You okay?
Dayquil and...
Deep state stuff?
Oh, yeah.
The classified documents. I don't know.
All real.
I stopped watching.
What?
About the animal-human hybrids? All of it?
All of it.
All of it was true. Okay.
It's the Jedi, the Force, all of it.
Film director John Jobson was engaged by producer Robert Kvyat to direct several portions of the Fox special, including Santilli's interview. Jobson has stated that he became immediately suspicious upon meeting Santilli in London, and after conducting further investigation, told both Fox and Kvyat that he believed the whole thing was a fraud. He described their response: "It was then made clear to me that if the footage was exposed as a hoax before the show aired, the ratings would suffer." Jobson then enlisted the services of his friend, well-known private investigator William Deere.
Willie D.
Yeah. But according to Jobson, Deere was held back by the producers for fear that the hoax would be exposed before the air date, and he was limited to investigate. Yeah, they got millions of dollars invested in this
Yeah.
thing. So they're like, look, even if it isn't,
Yeah, shut up for now.
yeah, just let's can we just have fun?
You give it a year?
Just stop. Two of the program's participants claimed their observations were distorted. Stan Winston and Kevin D. Randall, a noted UFO author and investigator, both claimed they clearly stated in their interviews that they believed the footage was a hoax, but their statements were not used. Yeah. So, fast forward.
Yeah, but last night, so you sent me the one documentary I watched.
Yes.
The alien autopsy. Here's what happened after that was done.
Yeah.
It went right to the full alien autopsy video, but with no sound.
That's even creepier.
It's a different beast. It's a different beast because I told you I was
All you
messing-
should hear is like the projector sounds.
No,
That'd
nothing.
be cool.
Yeah, but nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like, what's going on? I look
Yeah.
up, and I watched the whole thing in silence.
Yeah.
It's a different ball game.
It is,
It
because
is.
they add a lot of that weird music.
Yeah, and like if someone's always talking.
Yes.
Oh, here we're now
Yeah.
the kidney's coming out. There's no intestines, and, like
Yeah.
no, it was just silent. I looked up from my computer, and I was like,
That would be interesting if they like, well, here it is, and there's no audio. That might be a little more interesting. And yeah.
because Britt was in bed, the dogs were in bed.
Yep.
Just me in silence in my living room. Wow. It was fucking weird. It's creepy.
Still to this day, it's still snapping necks and cashing checks.
Hey, continue. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
I'll reserve my judgment.
Okay. So in 2006, the events surrounding the release of the footage were adapted as a British feature film comedy, Alien Autopsy, directed by Johnny Campbell and written by William Davies. The film presents a humorous reconstruction of the making of the Santilli film based on Santilli's statements, without commenting on the veracity of his claims. So on April 4th, 2006, days before the release of the film, Sky broadcast documentary Alien Autopsy, presented by Eamon Holmes. In this program, Ray Santilli and fellow producer Gary Schofield admitted that their film was actually a reconstruction containing only, in their words, a few frames from the original 22 rolls of film, each averaging 4 minutes in length.
It's like, guys, you've been found out at this point. Knock it off.
That Santilli claimed to have viewed in 1992. They explained that by the time they had raised enough money to purchase the original, only a few frames were still intact, the rest having been degraded beyond the point of usability by heat and humidity. What do you mean purchase the original? From the cameraman, the unnamed cameraman?
Yeah, well, they were talking about it in the BBC documentary where he's like, and that's him talking, like, when they're like, you sure? You sure you didn't fake it? And he's like, well, why? Why would we do this? I don't know. Like,
What do you mean why? To profit immensely.
A lot of it. We were in negotiations with the cameraman for months. He's like, fuck you, you liar.
Your diary proved interesting. At first I thought it was a handwritten book. Very sad.
You dare use my own spells against me?
That too.
All British people are Harry Potter
I've been shot.
characters.
Completely derailed. I feel like I took crazy pills before I fucking recorded this. I mean, that's really it. I mean, there's all this other nonsense here. Santilli and Schofield stated that they had restored the damaged footage by filming a simulated autopsy on a fabricated alien. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
Based upon what Santilli said he saw in 1992, and then adding in a few frames of the original film that had not degraded. How do you do that? Show us that. Show us that strip of film with the few frames that are not degraded. Show us.
Right.
They have not identified which frames are from the original. Dude, come on. There'd be two wildly different ones.
Yeah. The giveaway too when you're watching it is the whitewash that comes up.
Yeah.
It's so produced. It's
Yeah.
especially
it's artful.
Right.
It's not put in like, oh,
Yeah.
here's a cut, or
Yeah.
here's the. It's artful. The
Yeah.
way that it's shot.
Yeah.
So according to Santilli, a set was constructed in the living room of an empty flat. The flat in Rochester Square in Camden Town, London. John Humphrey's he's a sculptor. Sorry. It's Tuesday, isn't it? Was employed to construct two dummy. That's enough. He was employed to construct two dummy alien bodies over a period of 3 weeks using casts containing sheep's brains set in raspberry jam, chicken entrails, and knuckle joints obtained from a butcher. Humphreys also played the role of the chief examiner in order to allow him to control the effects being filmed, of course.
Yeah.
There were two separate attempts at making the footage. After filming, the team disposed of the bodies by cutting them into small pieces and placing them in rubbish bins across London. Wow. Some Jack the Ripper shit.
Yeah.
Alien artifacts, okay, supposedly items recovered from the crash, were depicted in the footage. These included alien symbols and six-finger control panels, which Santilli describes in the Sky documentary as being the result of artistic license on his part. These artifacts were also created by Humphreys. The footage also showed a man reading a statement verifying his identity as the original cameraman and the source of the footage. Santilli and Schofield admitted in the documentary that they had found an unidentified homeless man on the streets of Los Angeles, persuaded him to play the role of the cameraman, and filmed him in a motel. The documentary was also released, slightly modified, on DVD in 2006. Why don't I have this DVD? I need this with all the bullshit. The
Yeah.
bullshit's the best part.
Yeah.
Like the 14-minute or whatever it is film, great, but I want the bullshit.
Yeah, because like it's so like you guys went to so much like such great heights and lengths to kind of like because you were in the spotlight for having it.
Yeah.
Now it's like how do we spin our way out of this to at least have this much credibility left in our name?
Yep. And it's funny, recently, just in 2021, Santilli would go on to further claim that the footage was a restoration in a short documentary.
Just stop.
Yep. So, that's...
Put the brakes on, you asshole.
Yeah. So, all right. So, I think we're at the part where we can kind of come to the point where... what are the main... and what are the end conspiracy theories here? What are the theories put forth that what it actually was, right?
The truth, yeah.
The truth. What's... I know my truth. All right? That's the point. So, some of the theories put forth. Okay? I wish Tim White was here.
I always wish Tim White was here.
Yeah, I know. All right, so
jacket.
Here's a few theories. The man. An alien pilot took their eye off the sky. Main theory that's pervaded the incident for decades is that an alien spacecraft crash-landed in the New Mexico desert. It didn't take long for the stories of a down-flying disc to start circulating when unusual debris was found on a ranch some 30 minutes north of Roswell. Right, so as the years passed, the story was built upon by locals, ufologists, and conspiracy theorists. The discovery of the since debunked... Yeah, we talked about this. So... That's it. A crash. Is it just a crash? You know, he took his eye off the sky for a minute and he just kind of crashed.
I don't even think they have to like pilot it. I think it was just like the navigation system, like one thing,
Right.
and then just...
Or this craft was hit by lightning.
Yeah, more...
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's more of the possibility. Right? So, like, if you think of these advanced crafts that, like, you know, maybe you can't shoot at it. Maybe you can put this huge, immense electrical discharge that comes out of our atmosphere at random.
And it was a 1 in a billion shot.
Yeah,
you know
it was
what I mean?
there.
Just one thing that happened.
Yep.
It never happened before.
Yep.
Probably never will happen again.
Yep.
Just got it.
Because it was made out of tinfoil, rubber, balsa wood, and tape with flowers on it.
Yeah, similar to a kite. You know?
Yeah, right. Okay. The UFO was of Nazi origin. Okay. Post-war America had a fascination with the Nazis, understandably given Adolf Hitler had recently very nearly taken over the world because it was 1947. But whereas Europe, having faced the evils of the Third Reich firsthand, was quick to dismantle Nazism and consign it to history, the USA was focused on pilfering its biggest talents and most useful technology, Operation Paperclip.
Yep.
While Operation Paperclip secretly shipped Nazi scientists and doctors across the Pacific to do their bidding for a new employer, other secret operations connected to the work of Nazi Germany quietly, went about their business. Basically, they were saying, here it is, Nazi UFOs.
What is it, the Nazi bell? Doc Schwange, whatever the fuck.
The Glocke?
Yeah. Doc and Glocke.
Yeah, something like that. Yep, that's right. Some people have claimed that the object that crashed in the New Mexico desert was part of a project to test Nazi flying machine tech. It was apparently a craft called the Bell, a machine which propelled with electric particles.
Yeah.
Okay, according to this theory, the technology was unstable and simply dropped out of the sky during a test flight. The project was then scrapped.
I love like the stories behind that.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting. There's that one thing they said was the stand for it. It's that weird concrete thing. It stood right on top of here. Hey, I don't doubt that at all. I mean, I don't know if it's the explanation for Roswell, but
no, I don't think it's some explanation for Roswell. But they had something. That's pretty cool.
Yep,
They made something.
Yep. Okay, here we go.
Shit in Alaska and fuck.
All right. Yeah. Oh, the bases in this Antarctica bases too. Yeah, crazy shit. Always Antarctica.
Antarctica. I said Alaska. Antarctica. Yeah.
Yeah. Already covered this, but the lightning downed them.
That's totally what happened.
Yeah, I mean, a spaceship was crashed onto the ranch, but the driver, it wasn't driver error or shot down. The accident was caused simply by a strike of lightning. I think that's the one that kind of like, you know. I
don't think they're like pilots. You know what I mean? I don't think they're like, you know what I mean? If anything, it's like beep, boop, boop, it goes.
Well, who can even say? But I think that, this seems more plausible. And then, of course, there's the U.S.
When it hit, they were like, we don't know.
Yep. And then it was a U.S. Air Force balloon.
No.
It just doesn't. Shut up. Yeah, it's like, come on, man. It's like, this is like a joke at this point.
I've had enough to fucking hear with balloons.
Yeah, balloons.
Tell
and
me about a
swamp
fucking
gas.
balloon. One more fucking balloon.
Yeah, swamp gas and Venus.
I just sounded like fucking Bill Burr there. Jesus.
Yeah, a little bit.
Little
bit.
Nah.
Yeah, he's
You insulted him a little bit.
So, these are the main theories here. Okay, we have the Project Mogul U.S. Air Force balloon, which is the one that's... Oh, it was a balloon, but not that balloon.
Yeah,
it was
it's a
this
different
balloon that
balloon.
we said.
A much cooler balloon.
Yeah.
Trust me.
And hey, the things they said that was in this balloon, totally not the shit they found.
Yeah.
Okay? So...
Rubber, balsa wood, paper.
Right. Although his kids described those like I-beams.
The I-beams with the writing on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesse Marcel Jr., which was Jesse Marcel's son, when the night that he brought home the wreckage. So there's the one video where it's like it's foil, they crinkle it up and they put it down and just back to flat.
And his daughter was like, it's like water. It was like water.
Like water, but then she also said like when it was in her hand, it was like nothing was in her hand.
Yeah, she would have
But
crumpled
you
up.
couldn't rip it.
Yeah.
Couldn't tear it.
Yeah.
You couldn't do anything to it. But it was light. It was like completely.
Sorry about my sniffles. Jeez.
It's okay. It's the alien sickness they got you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doing all that alien coke. Space coke.
Space coke. And they describe these things. The metal was a purple pinkish color, and then he said there's these two little I-beams, and they had these symbols on them. So,
I would love to see that alien writing. I want.
Yeah.
Just give me a picture, man.
I'm sure there are pictures. I'm sure there's film.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's pieces left. I'm sure there's Miles Dyson type, like go into that vault.
Dude.
There's the computer chip and the hand. There's the alien skull. There's the full body. There's still like organic material.
Was it Nixon who brought what's his name?
Who?
The actor from The Hustler. Not The Hustler.
Harry Flint?
No, what's his name? No, not Hustler. The Hustler, the pool movie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck. You never heard that story?
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, dude, hold on. Jackie Gleason. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you never heard about?
No.
Dude, okay. I'll give you a little reading of it.
Okay.
I remember in this.
It sounds familiar, but I can't.
Yeah. So this article's cool. It's called Presidential X-Files. Richard Nixon, Jackie Gleason, and the Aliens.
Okay.
Actor Jackie Gleason was perhaps best known for his role as bus driver Ralph Cramden, whose famous catchphrase was "To the moon, Alice." The Honeymooners. That's what I was trying to think of. It was a different time when remarks about spousal violence were allowed to get a laugh track. Gleason had much more of an interest in heavens besides his punchline. The actor was said to be greatly interested in the possibility of extraterrestrials, as well as the paranormal. He read many books on the UFOs and other subjects, and even commissioned a house in Peekskill, New York, that was built to resemble a flying saucer.
I heard about that.
Yeah, during the 1950s. He was a recurring guest on paranormal-themed overnight radio show hosted by John Nebel, and after his death, his large book collection was donated to the Library of the University of Miami. Gleason was also a friend and frequent golfing buddy of President Richard Nixon. According to writer Jeffrey Holcomb, it was Gleason's known interest in UFOs that allegedly led President Nixon to share some information with Gleason, including some UFO data and possibly much more. Gleason met his second wife, Beverly McKittrick, at a country club in 1968, where she worked as a secretary. The two were married in a registry ceremony in Ashford, England on July 4th, 1970. The marriage lasted only 4 years, and in September 1974, Gleason filed for divorce from McKittrick. She contested the divorce, asking for a reconciliation, but the divorce was granted on November 19th, 1975. Man, that's crazy. In 1983, McKittrick gave an interview to notoriously unreliable National Enquirer, in which he claimed that Nixon, February 19th, 1973, Nixon took Gleason to an Air Force base after the two had played golf together to show Gleason what he was told were the remains of the extraterrestrials. McKittrick was not present for the event, but claimed that Gleason had recounted the details of the event to her. According to McKittrick, Gleason and Nixon had played a round of golf that day after the two spent some time chatting about Gleason's interest in UFOs. The two men had developed a friendship. Gleason had been a staunch supporter of the Nixon campaign. McKittrick says sometime around midnight, Nixon suddenly showed up at midnight. They wrote that twice at Gleason's front door in She claims he appeared alone without his Secret Service, a detail that makes the story considerably less credible. But as the story goes, Nixon and Gleason drove through the night to Homestead Air Force Base, 35 miles southwest of Miami. After entering the base, Nixon drove to the heavily guarded building at the far end of the compound where the two were allowed into the facility. According to McKittrick, Gleason told her, and this is where I'll basically end it, there were a number of labs we passed through first before we entered a section where Nixon pointed out what he said was the wreckage from a flying saucer, enclosed in several large cases. Next, we went into an inner chamber, and there were 6 or 8 of what looked like glass-topped Coke freezers. Inside them were the mangled remains of what looked like children. McKittrick described the incident to the Inquirer as follows: I'll never forget the night in 1973. My famous husband came home, slumped white-faced in an armchair, and spilled out the incredible story to me. He was late. It was around 11:30 p.m., and I've been worried. As soon as I heard the key turn in the lock of our golf course home in Ivanry, Florida, I jumped to my feet and asked, where you been? He replied, stunned to me, I've been at Homestead Air Force Base, and I've seen the bodies of some aliens from outer space. It's top secret, only a few people know, but the president arranged for me to be escorted in there and see them.
It's a wacky story.
It is a wacky story, but it's that time where it's like the president and like Jackie Gleason was a big,
Yeah,
that was a
it's
big
not like
name
it would
guy.
be today because like everything is out there because of social media and whatnot.
Yep.
But like
Nixon just showed up to his drinking buddy's house, was like, want to see some shit?
Yeah, you want to see some fucking aliens?
Yeah.
Well, I love it. So
The coolest story.
It is,
you
no.
You can picture the clothes they're wearing.
But that's like that thing where it's like you have that something that happens and then like this seemingly unrelated piece of information almost like confirms the other thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if that's true, he probably saw the wreckage from Roswell.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And at that point, it was in different containers.
yeah.
He was like, oh, that's where we keep the wreckage. Over there. That's not what we're here to see.
Yeah.
Another inner chamber.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he's like, there's 7 or 8 of them.
Yeah.
Look, and he was probably all giddy because he's like, I'm showing Jackie Gleason this shit.
Yeah.
you know,
But then
like-
you actually see it.
Yeah, and he's pale, white face. He gets home and like,
Well, think about it. We're sitting here having a good time.
Yeah.
And but then what if you had you have the opportunity? Let's
Earth-shattering opportunity.
Let's say once again it's all real.
yeah,
You're there, and then you get to see it. Your conception of everything is shattered.
he probably puked when he saw them,
maybe.
just from nerves and everything. Like he probably was just like, it was probably just he couldn't even.
Well, maybe not everybody pukes when they get stressed, but
No, I don't. But I'm just saying
Yeah.
that seems like the moment.
it probably just a deep silence came over him. You know what I mean? And he probably was just like, because your head probably
Yeah.
just.
And Nixon's like trying to talk to him the whole ride home, like,
Yeah.
dude, wasn't that cool? And he's
Yeah.
just like, he's like, oh fuck, Yeah. He's like, shit, maybe I should have done that.
And you know what? Maybe doing things like that is why presidents don't get briefed on it anymore.
Probably,
Because that's the case.
probably.
So I think we should move into our conclusions section.
Sure.
Who goes first?
I'll go first because I'm a maniac and I
Okay, go
know where
ahead.
this is probably gonna go.
I want you to give me a somewhat detailed account. What you think happened?
I'm absolutely all right.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, I think this programmed spaceship.
Okay.
I think, years have come by. Technology's advanced. I think they're more advanced now than they were then.
Okay.
But then it'd be like us, with a Tesla.
Yeah, sure.
Gun, it navigates. It's a car, but their technology's there, so it has its navigation. They're not piloting it. They're doing other things on board.
Okay.
These extraterrestrials. And the 1 in a billion shot. Lightning strike. Boom. Takes out something in their craft that never goes wrong.
Right.
That never goes out.
Right.
And there's a backup in case, but this thing torched it. We're losing altitude. It's going down. And they can't, grab a control. They're like, we don't drive.
Yeah.
Like, they don't do that. It's not part
Okay.
of what they do.
Okay.
So they have no recourse but to hold on to whatever they're doing. And it happens so fast, boom, boom, boom. Right? Maybe the one hit its energy shield and that's why it survived it or whatever. But boom, it crashes. It skips a couple times like a stone
Okay.
over water. Gets embedded in the bluff, in the little hillside there.
Sure.
I don't think anyone heard it when it happened.
Okay.
No one knew. People were just stumbling upon it. The people that own the land, the farmers, all that kind of shit. And like it was probably like a week before anyone even really saw anything.
Yeah.
And they start going, what the fuck? Someone notices it, and by the time calls are made, because he didn't have phones.
Yeah.
He said, what, 3 months? What was it? 3 months that it was there?
Weeks.
I'm sorry. 3 weeks. So if the one's still alive and survived 3 weeks with no sustenance, I don't know. I don't know. But let's say said being may be some kind of like half bio, half engineered scout kind of alien, because they say there's different ones. But then you have the students stumble upon it by the time calls are made, and the shit's already like the whole town's getting a buzz.
Yeah.
Like, you hear what happened, blah, blah, blah. They brought it to the neighbor's kitchen floor.
Yeah.
Everyone's there, like all this kind of shit. They're like, people are coming in, the families. And then the calls are made. The military makes their statement because it's the lower branch that gets there first, right? So it's the ones that are like, oh, I'm going to get a medal for this. Like an alien craft. Like, it's all this stuff. But then the people in the know, maybe the ones who have knowledge of a UFO found in a Mayan pyramid, or have some kind of knowledge of the big boys. They call one guy who calls a whole team. They start going out there. They start making the threats. They're like, you better retract this. You're a fucking idiot. You tell them you're an idiot.
Right.
Balloon. I don't care. Call the nerds in the think tank.
Yeah.
They'll come up with a story. They'll write you a script. That's what you follow from now on.
Yep.
What do we do about the families? Everyone in this town's going to know. It's going to get out of proportion. The whole country, the whole world's talking about this right now. Here's what you do. You intimidate everyone. You tell everyone to shut the fuck up, or they're done. Everything they do is done.
Yep.
And that's what they do. The little girl, this is a big desert out here. We could just take you out. They'll never find your bodies. The radio station, they call the radio station. And they were like, it won't be months. We'll shut you down immediately.
Right.
You know who I am? You know who my boss is? That's the thing, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, here's where my reach goes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine where my boss's reach goes?
Sure.
Pyramids. So the government takes it all, take it to Ohio, and they start studying and experimenting on this shit. We learn about fiber optics. We learn about microchips.
Okay.
We start reverse engineering stuff.
Okay.
We keep the one that's alive. We talk to him. He grabs data and he's like, "Release me." Yeah, but no. I still like the story.
What is it that you want us to do?
Die. And then he shows him the future. Oh, Bill Pullman's like, oh. But
Fuck Randy Quaid.
yeah. But that's another one of those stories that's linked to that. The touching. Okay. Anyway, I just think that the lightning strike crash, the weather conditions, boom, we got the bodies. People saw shit and they told them, "Shut the fuck up or you're dead."
Okay. My conclusion is very similar. I think that because of 2 years before we detonated, the first atomic bombs, I think maybe it took them that long to either get here or make the decision to come here. I think they were
Politicking.
maybe, but I think they were aliens in some kind of craft. I think that they were coming to see what was going on, and maybe they were in some kind of search mode, or not, and they were caught unawares and hit by a lightning bolt. Because I think whatever element 115, whatever it is that runs these craft, I think that the lightning bolt hit it, and that's one of the only things that can, or one of the few things that can damage their craft.
Right.
I think it hit their craft. I think there was no time for any whatever. I think it crashed. I think that they were in that craft in some kind of survival situation for a few days, maybe a week or so, 2 weeks, whatever they said it was. I think that farmer, because of how huge, or rancher, whatever he was, worldwide Brazil, I think he eventually saw the wreckage, and I think in the same day that he followed the wreckage, I think there probably was a long, what do they call it, a gouge.
Yeah.
And I think he followed it, and I think he saw the craft that was crashed. I think there was still so the one thing says, oh, it was 2 UFOs and there was 8 of them. I think it was probably more likely 1 craft and 2 of them.
Yeah.
One was probably mangled to fuck, and then there was one that was still alive or probably barely hanging on, kind of thing. However, there was that one account that said that it was walking around. So who knows? So I would say between 2, possibly even 3, because maybe there's like there's a dead one, just mangled, hit by one of those hit by a train videos.
Just fucking dead.
Yeah, just intergalactic street pizza. Another one that's like just hanging on, and there's one that's fine. You know, and he's in there, and he's maybe
like, you should have hit your energy shields.
and doing whatever they do. I don't know if they had any kind of, that's beyond speculation, because what could they do or whatever. So they crashed her there. I think that they saw dead bodies, and I don't think the guy Mac, and I don't think these students, if they were there, I don't think they made contact. I think they were extremely frightened by what they saw, and I think Mac was like, oh shit, gathered up some debris and said, there's something going out there. If you go to the military and say, here's some foil I found with rubber and balsa wood, and these things are supposedly deployed from however many dozen facilities, they're not getting up to go search that.
Yeah.
You don't deploy all these people out there unless and shut down roads and don't allow people in the vicinity if it's a weather balloon.
You're sure shit ain't taking it to Ohio.
Right. So, which is fucking far.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Ohio's right next to us. I think that they come to recover this stuff. I think they do the thing where it's like, okay, get out there, see what it is first. I think that there was very much just a snafu where the guy was just like, oh shit, we got a saucer? Very low rank guy. An officer, but he probably doesn't hear shit. He's out there to just deal with press people. I'm like, can't go near here, nuclear testing, sorry, no other questions. And he's like, the dude,
it was a cushy job until then.
Yeah, and I'm sure the dude, Mac Brazel, came out and he was like, there's a crashed ship out there. And he was like, what? Yeah, there's a saucer out there. And then his higher up was like, he's like, yeah, there's something crashed out there. And he probably was half listening. He was like, yeah, just go ahead and put it out there. Just let him know that whatever. And he has the unfortunate, luck to be like, okay, all right. Yeah, we have a craft. He gets a call 10 minutes later from his superior letting him know that his family's going to be murdered in front of him unless he turns the situation around, because this
someone calling from a black phone somewhere.
Someone who sounds like either the Smoking Man or Agent Smith.
Or Wesker.
That too. It's Robert Stack on the other end of the line. So
that's terrifying.
It is. So they have to do the same thing, damage control. They go out there, they intimidate, just like you said. I agree with that all completely. They intimidate everyone. They tell everyone, you'll just disappear. Like they'll talk to some people certain ways. They'll talk to others other ways. They'll appeal to people on the level they need to be appealed to. Hey, radio guy, license gone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Your whole shit.
Yep. And I don't mean like, hey, maybe this will happen tomorrow. You'll be off the air. Yeah. Military guy, they don't need to say too much to. They'll just be like, yeah,
oath.
Made
an oath.
Yeah. So, and then, regular other people, just, there's that one account of the girl. She's like, the guy was a military officer, was just there hitting the baton on his hand. He's like, you didn't see nothing. He's like, yeah, I was. No, you weren't. And this is to a little girl.
Yeah.
So, they scared the shit out of people to not talk about it at all, which worked for a while. So, as that's going on, then you have Jesse Marcel, one of the main players. He was like, whoever this main guy was, because there was the brigadier general or whatever, but there was definitely a higher up.
Skullface.
He probably exactly. He didn't even know who he was talking to.
Right.
Like he was just on the other end of the phone. Hello, sir. And he's like, Major Marcel. And he was like, oh, who's this? He's like, don't even ask. Like, I'm sure it was just a voice. Like, he didn't even know who he was talking to.
Just ignored that question and kept talking.
Yep. And just was like, here's what we're going to do. You found a weather balloon. All those other things, you were just mistaken. And then I'm sure he was like, but sir, and he was just like, you were just mistaken. And that's all there was to it.
The wolf is coming to you promptly.
Seriously. Oh, you said on the wolf? But I think that was the end of his involvement. You know what I'm saying? Like, he saw what he saw and was fortunate to see that stuff. He went out there. He also saw the stuff. He collected the stuff. He got some actual alien thing. I think, as far as I could tell, or as far as I want to tell, I think that it was like he actually did hold some stuff that was a piece of this thing, and he showed his family, and they saw it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And they saw it because they still to this day, or the ones that are still alive, they'll tell you, because I think I was telling you this before when I was talking about it. That's the origin of that phrase from the show. I know what I saw.
Yeah.
I know what I saw. This is not foil. This is not a piece of balsa wood. This was not from Earth. This is not anything I've ever seen.
And at that time, they were just excited. Yeah. Everyone involved was excited. Yes. They thought it was sillies.
Yeah.
They thought it was, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
This is all this stuff. Oh, my family. Right. Everyone, he's coming in, takes his hat off.
Oh, yeah.
Puts it under the arm, they were like, this is awesome. This is so cool.
So they all see it. They all get very excited. He's like, oh, this is amazing. All right, well, I take a look because I got to bring it tomorrow because I got to bring it in. He brings it in and didn't realize the gravity of the situation. And they took it from him and they told him what he was going to do. And then his son even said, he came home the next night and he was like, Dad, what about this thing? He's like, never talked about it again. Yeah. He's like, no. I mean, later on he did, but for a long time he was just, no, that wasn't that. No, that was part of a weather balloon. So on the government side, I think that was, who knows, but I think that was our first actual encounter, technologically so, with aliens.
Okay.
I know we want to believe the Mayan pyramid one, but there's literally no evidence. None.
Sure.
And I want to believe that kind of stuff, that we found stuff in, but I think the first real time, because look at the jump. After World War II, we figure out the atom bomb. Then Roswell happens, and every single look at all the advances we've made since if you started from there, reverse engineering the aliens,
fiber optic, drive-through fast food, condoms,
Velcro. In my estimates, that's what I choose to believe. Do I know if that's 100% true? No, but I like to entertain the idea that maybe that's where we got all of modern technology.
Here's a silly fun one.
What?
The one that was alive?
Yeah.
He's some alien king's son.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
they're like, we'll give you technology if you they broker a return.
Well, I think that was,
and they just hand him fiber optic cable.
Here's what I like to here's what I like to believe, because it's interesting to me, and it's fascinating to me, and it also kind of makes, I don't know, somewhat sense to me. But that's when we encountered aliens.
Okay.
There was the dead ones. There was the one that was kind of alive. We did our best to communicate in some kind of way.
What do you eat?
Yeah.
Can you have soda? I don't.
We did our best to communicate with them. Whatever the fuck it was. And it did eventually die.
Yeah. Some guy just comes in and pours Robitussin all over his body.
Vicks vapor rub.
Is that okay? Is that good for you?
Is that effervescent?
Yeah.
I think I think that was our last. I think that was our last contact with actual aliens.
That was it. Just that one.
I think they crashed. They wanted to see what we were doing there. And they haven't come back yet. I think everything's been reverse engineered from that stuff, because you can almost draw a line from all those things. The things we're seeing now, what's being purported of being seen, I think is a lot of things that are being either reverse engineered, but I also like to entertain the idea that when I say contact, meaning that we've actually met hero aliens, we can see them, we touched their shit, we saw them, we took them apart, we looked at them.
We batted them around.
Yeah. Maybe now they're coming back, and that's the thing we're seeing now. And maybe we're fucking terrified. Maybe our government's terrified.
Now Congress wants to talk about it.
Yeah, because maybe it's now like, hey, we enjoyed 50, 60 plus years, 70 plus years of reverse engineered technology, the modern age, all the cell phones, internet, all this crazy shit we had, was reverse engineered out of that craft. Now all of a sudden, the last 10 years, these orbs with cubes inside of them are just showing up.
Yeah.
And they're back again.
Where's Prince Gorm?
Whatever. if I could bring it down to what I think could be a possibility, that's what I think. I think we have our stuff, and then there's stuff that's like,
their technology is even crazier now too.
Yeah, because now for them, because then you got to get into the whole thing of if they can travel through almost dimensions, time isn't even a thing.
Well, maybe but maybe that's part of the difficulty.
Yeah.
Maybe their universal view or their space view is so vast. It's like weeding through grains of sand to find the right planet. You know what I mean? Maybe they just found us again,
or maybe we don't really matter. So it's like whatever they're doing.
That's kind of that goes hand in hand, though.
You know, but like, I think it's more of one of those things. Like we were only on their radar because when we meet these like milestones,
right?
Like we got their attention by making an atomic bomb. They're like, all right, let's go check out what these fucking idiots are doing. Yeah. They went down there. They're trying to look. I'm sure it wasn't the only ship, but like one got fucked up, and they're like, and maybe it's just they're a different.
Now we've gone beyond atoms and we found the God particle. You know, they're like, what's going on?
Well, I just think maybe it's to the point like, oh, look at like what I said before. Anything you see that the military is doing, they have 20 years beyond that. So whatever spacecraft or craft that we do have that they're not showing us, maybe the Tic Tacs are our things, and the cubes inside the spheres are theirs.
Yeah, they're like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
And
but
it turns out that like that UFO was just like those were children, and it was like, oh, they took like, you know, you have the Tonka trucks.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Hey, maybe they were looking at the ship. They're like, oh, so if we pressurize this cabin and we do this from this metal and we do this is how we can get somebody up to the moon.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that crazy of a jump to think that.
No, not at all.
So, and like, oh, if you do this, well, you have to. All right, well, this trajectory that like all the stuff was in there. I don't know.
One of the things I love about you is how protected that whole thing was.
What do you mean?
Like, protected in the way of, like, it's just how you work. You're like, these are the most logical terms.
Well, it has to be.
I understand. I don't, a lot of times, have it in me to work within just the lines. I have to, like, I'm like, but no, you know, like,
well, for it to be feasible, you have to use your eyeballs and look around. These are the things that happen in our world. They have to exist within certain parameters.
Right, sure.
Just because they're aliens doesn't mean that they
love
can do...
I love it. I'm going off the deep end, though.
Oh, okay.
Like, I have to. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the difference. There's the dynamic between us. Like, when I say protected, I mean it's very logical. Well pointed out statement. Me, I'm like, nah, dude, they got our fucking, you know, like, I'm like, no way, man.
Yeah.
Like, they have all our faces. They know us. You know,
I don't think they're interested.
Egypt, bloodlines, every president,
reptilians. I don't think, honestly, personally, if you were to sit me down and say, I don't think any of that shit's true. Like the reptilians, the shapeshifters, none of that. But do I think that
Men in Black, yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, why not? Why not? But I think, like I just said, our modern age springing out of literally that crash, I could believe. I think I believe that.
Sure. No, that makes the most sense. I mean, yeah, there were the leaps and bounds at that point. After that, like you're saying, it's such a logical point that, like, me even to go, like, no, there's much more is silly.
Yeah, maybe they got the idea of, like, you know, servers and things like, you know, the basis for the internet came from, oh, that's how these ships run. They're connected to this interconnected web thing. Well,
and then Al Gore invented the internet after that.
Right. But let's make this thing that they had. Their ship ran because it was connected to fucking Wi-Fi, like our things are. Like, this thing is connected to GPS, their version of it. Well, let's make our version as GPS. Oh, we need to make these satellites that go around the... Because we need to, you know, line of sight and all that stuff. Because I like that idea. It's like, because...
It's comfy. It's a comfy idea.
Well, and it also, because it kind of makes a lot of sense to me, because it's like, we had none of this shit, and then all of a sudden, boom, there it is. And you can't just say, oh, well, we took, boom goes the dynamite. Oh, well, we captured some Nazi scientists, so that's why we have it. I don't think so.
We already had Einstein. You know what I mean? Like...
Werner von Braun was brilliant, and he basically created the space program, but that doesn't explain all of it.
Right.
So... That's where I go, and I think we have those things. I think those things are somewhere, Area 51 or some base we don't even, which more than likely a facility we don't even know about.
Right.
There's probably an Area 54.
Oh, dude, fuck that, dude. Area 51's old hat, man.
Oh yeah,
that shit's old hat.
Yeah, those are probably empty buildings at this point.
Dude. Have you checked under the Denver airport?
Jesus Christ! There's a lot of phallic shapes at the Denver airport. It's like, what the fuck?
No.
Maybe it's underneath that pizza place.
Oh yeah, Pizzagate. Yeah, man.
No, I think that's where I like to go with that, and I think that we've got to a point where, like, you know, we found these things. Hey, maybe they're these. I'll go fantastical for this. Maybe we found these guys. They crashed in 1947. Hey, this corresponds to a lot of the weird anomalies and archaeological digs that we found. Maybe these are, you know, beings that have visited before.
Now you're talking, Joe.
Maybe. And they're like, okay, that's kind of... Now we can see them. Here's what they are. Last time we saw them. Now there's visitors to our planet, and we're like... And I think the military are like, what do we do now?
Yeah. Do we nuke ourselves? Just to get...
Yeah. I like that idea because...
It's a very tidy idea.
Yeah.
It's, it's...
Yeah.
You taking the steps for the ancient alien things, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't not believe that, but I also don't believe that they built any monuments. That's fucking crazy to me.
No, I'm not saying they built it.
Yeah.
If anything, they were like, worship me, build some shit for me.
Why?
Because it's funny.
That's human conceptions.
But it's funny.
Yeah, but don't actually put it out there that it might be an idea. I hate that.
I didn't put it out there.
Humans get bored, and when humans get bored, they do shit that takes a lot of time to occupy themselves, like make giant stone monuments.
So extraterrestrials don't get bored, you wouldn't think?
Yeah, that's why they come here and like poke assholes when they pull you from your house at night.
They're like, watch this. We're gonna have them build something, and then later tonight we're gonna go poke their fucking asshole in their sleep. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, sure. It probably was great.
Yeah.
We were
Zap and Gleep Corp. Their grandparents.
We've
were
been
telling
over
them
this. We're the
stories.
Caribbean vacation for aliens.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, you want to go to Earth again?
Yeah.
Next summer, I'll save up, and then they do it.
Yeah. And they just bat dick and balls around. They
Hey.
punch you in your face when you're on the table.
Whatever. Watch this. He's not even going to remember this.
Yeah.
They fucking jump off the top rope.
Yeah. They're like, bring the table.
Yep.
Put him on the table.
Yep. So,
Oh man. I once again, like I said, your idea is the most logical and it's the most sane way to take a big, crazy thought of like what actually happened and make it something that's respectable,
or digestible at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And for most 90% of me is like, yeah, let's stick with that.
But then Kenny Dumps comes in.
Kenny Dumps, the other 10%. Bro, fucking serious. The stuff,
No, I love it, man.
All that shit, all that other shit, like, I'll get sucked in. I'll be on YouTube, it'll be like all the different races, the different races of aliens. I'll sit there for 45
Did you
minutes.
remember last week you were telling me about Gilgamesh's tomb?
Yeah,
I know.
And that stuff is just super fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
One weird parallel that I'm seeing the two with the giants and the aliens, the extra digit.
I think that's just a way to make something other.
Exactly, but it's silly. That's so like 1940s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the 6th digit was there for you're never gonna believe this, Johnny. He's one drop of water short of a full glass you are, like all that kind of shit. It's like 6 digits on every hand.
Yeah. It wasn't a finger, it was another thumb, so you could do more shit.
Yeah. They're great with mugs, I don't know. That's where the mug came from.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Well, hey, man. I think it's super fucking fascinating. I think it's endlessly debatable.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. ODP canon.
For sure, ODP canon.
Not only is it ODP canon, it's invited to the barbecue. It can hang out on the bench, and if it wants to kick over the chum bucket, it can.
Yeah. If I had a sister, I'd introduce them.
I'd make Roswell my, the Roswell
I have a cousin
Incident.
who's pretty close.
Yeah.
She'd be down.
Yeah.
Kelly, you know what's up.
Yeah. Get it. Make this fucker family.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
This is my one. I think I was kind of hinting at the beginning. This is my one when someone says, even though there's all these things to possibly debunk it, when you say, what do you think is a credible one? I think it's this one.
Yeah.
Because there's so much. The thing that jumps out to me at the end of the day is how many times the government changed their story. And then they come up with those wacky tapes in the 90s. Oh, debunked. No. And they look like bigger idiots.
Right. Yeah.
Because of the popularity of the paranormal shit, specifically the X-Files, that came out and people were starting to ask questions again.
Well, that's the funniest thing about, and you can kind of see when these new things come into place, it's obviously a leadership change. It's obviously, how do we handle this changing hands with another fucking megalomaniac in a new seating where it's like, here's how you handle it, I know.
But then also the Iraq War, because then we saw all this new technology come out. People were like, what are these airplanes? Oh, that's what this was that I was seeing being tested. And you could chalk, a lot of it up to that kind of stuff, like government testing.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You know what's fucked up?
What's that?
No one's talking about consumer level invisibility shields that you can just make.
Okay.
That technology exists. It reflects the light. They have cloaks. That's fucking nuts.
They don't want us having that.
I understand, but you can do it as a consumer.
Okay.
You can go buy these things and make them, and you're like, I'm invisible.
We're conspiracy theorists. We're invisible to everybody else already.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a theorist. And there
That's
are
how you know you're a
conspiracies.
real.
And there are conspiracies.
Do you want to talk about the globalists?
If you'd like. If you'd like, Jason. Put your goddamn glasses back. No. Anyway, yeah,
Don't tell me what to do again.
Roswell, it happened.
Yeah, no, I think at the very, we're filling in the blanks here. We're having our cake and eating it too. At the very least, I think something of non-terrestrial origin definitely crashed, whether there were bodies or whatever.
Were they swinging?
I see a body swinging.
How does she keep fucking finding
I
it?
see a body
You're
swinging.
invoking her. That's the problem.
It's fun.
Yeah.
At least it's not. Hold on, Peter James.
Yeah.
At least it's not flaming skulls.
That's what took it out that's what took it out of the sky. Flaming
Someone
skulls.
said flaming skulls,
Yeah.
and they were like,
Yeah.
"We never see this."
What is this bullshit?
Yeah. Ah!
We don't have flaming skull shields.
And the one guy on the way down is like, no one talks about the consumer level flaming skulls.
I'm
Yeah.
on fire.
And the other guy's like, "This is my inner conspiracy theories."
I fucking told you guys. Ah!
Droop God and shut up.
Yeah. Yes.
Crash.
Yeah.
And yeah, ODP Cannon.
And I think our government recovered it, whatever it was.
Oh, absolutely.
I can go either way on the bodies. I go either way, but I honestly do think, and this might make me in the crazy category, I don't care, I think that we recovered something that day, and I think a lot of our modern technology sprang from it.
Tell you what, you do such a good job not diving into the crazy. You're allowed to say,
Okay. Well,
without sounding crazy, you're allowed.
Well, I'm
one.
just listen, man. I have a lot of crazy relatives, and sometimes during the holidays, I have to listen to why the pyramids are alien structures. That
Dude, didn't they recently come out that like they did it? It's like set up for like an aquifer, like it's a water system that helped float the stones.
It doesn't matter what they did. It's incontrovertible that fucking human beings built those things. They know where they did.
Yeah.
Do they know exactly everything? Maybe no, not. Maybe different techniques were used. It's hard to tell because of how old they are.
Where do you land on Stargates?
I think James Spader should be on the show if we're going to talk about that.
Kurt Russell,
Listen,
my hero, Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell is a god among men.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Agreed.
yep. Captain Ron.
Everything. I don't care.
The Thing.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China. Overboard. Listen. let me
Oh,
tell you
I love
something.
Overboard.
Let me tell you something. If you're feeling down,
Pop on Overboard.
pop on motherfucking Overboard.
Yeah.
And if I was the director of the Christmas Chronicles, at the end when he's like looking at that piece of paper, it should have been designs for a fucking mini golf place. Everyone would be like, it would be the Leo fucking meme.
Yeah.
They'd be like, holy shit, he's gonna call on. It's
Yeah.
the fucking mini
Yeah.
golf place.
I love that man.
Yeah.
He reported a UFO.
I'm sure he did.
No, he was flying his plane, and he was on a talk show, and he was talking about it.
Yep.
And he saw a news broadcast where, like, a pilot
Yep.
reports a plane or UFO over this and that.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Yeah, that was my report. That was me. I saw it. I saw a UFO."
Yep.
Because he's a pilot.
Yeah.
What else? He does everything. He's
Yeah. Did I ever tell on the story my dad's UFO story when he was out hunting?
I don't know, but tell it.
So this also paints you why I'm into all this shit, because I had a dad who grew up in a haunted house and then had UFO stories too. So
Insane.
so he's a hunter. He was out all the time, would go hunting, and he was telling me he was out in the woods one day, out in this, like, it was a, you're in the forest and you come to an area where it's like a clearing sort of, but it was like one of those like tall grass fields, the brown grass. And he'd been past this part many times. This was like this is almost like a marker on his mental map, like where to go.
Yeah.
Oh, I hit this area, and that means I'm here, and then I go this. Yeah. He came. He had just come. He'd just come that way going in, and then he's coming back. And in this field, which is in the middle of the woods, is what looks like a building with lights on it. Like a rectangular building, no windows, with blue lights on it. He said it was just there. He saw it from across the field. He didn't go near it because he didn't know what the fuck was going on. He's like, this isn't normally here. And that was the end of the story. He's like, and I just walked home. Came back another time, it wasn't there. He has no explanation. That's just his story. He said it was like a tall, like a box-shaped building.
Yeah.
No windows. Like it was a tan color. No windows.
A tan color with blue lights.
Yeah. That's it. He said it was just that. He's like, and he said he didn't go near it because it was fucking weird. He was like, oh, maybe they'd put like randomly you'll be out. Sometimes there'll be like a pump station or like an electrical station which hooks up to something that you may not know that's there. He was like, it wasn't anything like that. There was no fences. There was no signs. There was no windows. It was just, it looked like tan concrete. And he told me that, like,
I hate it. I love it.
Yeah.
I
He still tells it. I'll be like, Dad, tell you the UFO story. He just told it at this Christmas. He's like, yeah. And he told it just like this. He's like, I'm out in the a lot more fucks. He's a Teamster. Yeah. He used to be a Teamster. Yeah. I'm out in the fucking woods, you know.
And there's this fucking...
He's like, and I come out of the fucking clearing, and there's a fucking UFO. I was like, but it wasn't flying. He's like, right. He's like, but how did it get there? So I've been told that story since I was a kid.
That's awesome.
It's a weird fucking story.
My weirdest one is the one me and Chris, we were drinking on my mom's stoop, and he's facing me.
Yeah.
And I'm facing towards where the creek is.
Yep.
Crick.
Were the gnomes out there that night?
No.
Fuckers.
So we're just drinking and we're talking, and I see like a light spiral down.
Yeah.
And at first I'm like, was that like a bug on the light of like the where the pool is? It's like a clubhouse.
Yeah.
And at first saw this and I was like, wait, no, because I see the bugs and it was over here and it came down. So in my mind I'm trying to, and I kind of start like backing up and ducking, and Chris is like kind of looking at me like, what? We're talking here. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And this light just goes. It appears. 2 others come, and they just start turning around the other one. Start turning, and then they just go. It was the weirdest fucking thing I ever seen.
Interesting.
It was the weirdest fucking thing I ever seen. It was in the sky, right, and in my mom's neighborhood. At one point, this light just appears in the sky, but it was where it always would, and these things happen around it. I was like, it was one of those, once again, 1 in a million things where I was like, that fucking happened.
Yeah. It's not a UFO story. Kind of is, but it's not. And I just think it's interesting to hear these things from other people.
Yeah.
You have people in life who are constantly looking for weird shit, and then you have people that just don't. They don't care about it. So before I married my wife, we were talking about things like, you know, I grew up out in the woods. She grew up in a neighborhood, so like I was used to like looking at the stars. Yeah. And I was like, you know, like when you see a shooting star or like, you know, something, a satellite goes by. She's like, no, I never saw that. Yeah. I was like, you've never seen a shooting star? No. I'm like, she was like 19 at this point. I was like, you've never saw it? Come on, my parents' backyard had a big trampoline in the back. We'll go lay out there. Within 10 minutes, you're going to see probably both. Okay. We're laying there, and it just happened that we saw like 4, and they were like green color. And the color that a color of a shooting star is usually what metal is in it, and green I think means iron. I forget what it was. But she was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "That happens all the time. You don't?" She's like, "No." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Hang out. We might see more." And then, if you've never seen a satellite, it looks like a star that's flying. Yeah. But it's in a straight path. She's like, "Oh!" I was like, "It's a satellite." She's like, "Oh wow!" I was like, and this was before the apps existed where you could track all the satellites. And she's like, "Oh my god, that's really amazing." I was like, "Yeah, this kind of stuff's happening all the time."
And she was like, "Marry me."
Yes. Yes. And then we went inside and had milk and cookies.
Yeah. That was beautiful. It's a beautiful story.
I just thought it was interesting because it's someone looking up at the stars who just never did before. And I was like, it's right here. And then to this day, that was the only time she's ever seen it. Cause she may have seen a body.
I see a body swinging. I see a body swinging.
Well, this was a fun
Canon.
little series, Canon. It was good just talking to you today, man.
Yeah. Well, what I would like, I think we discussed earlier, what I would like to spring from this, I mean, I don't know if we'll have an episode in between it, but I'd like to get right into, at some point soon, into Area 51/Bob Lazar. Yep. I think those are important ones.
Yes, we'll do that. We'll do that after Rabbit Hole Part 2.
Right.
Because we had so much fun with the last rabbit hole one.
Yeah, now we're like, oh, we should have went full bore crazy.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you get to see my mania when I'm scared of stuff, like space.
You don't get tinfoil hats for that episode.
You don't get to see, my fun mania.
Right.
And I'm tired of being the, scared of space guy. I want something else.
But you are the scared of space.
It's true.
guy.
Kenny Dumps the Pumpkin Boy is very scared.
Pumpkins
of
don't
space.
go to space.
They won't.
No, the pressure would just...
Yeah. That's why this pumpkin, his cheeks are staying planted in this.
Pumpkin cheeks.
These pumpkin cheeks are right here. In my new chair, by the way, guys. I got a new chair. It's pretty sweet. All right, guys. Well, for this episode of Other Dangerous Podcast, I'm Ken James.
And I'm Jason McKittrick.
And as always, have a spooky evening. Thank you for listening to Other Dangerous Podcasts. Have you encountered the other dangers? If so, you can email us at otherdangerouspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have a discussion about the paranormal, you can find us at Other Dangerous Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. There you can find submitted pictures, videos, and artwork from listeners. We are now streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are streamed. And after listening, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you the other dangers.